Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice Speaker. Please bear with my voice. I'd like to thank you and commend you all for being here today. This is a very important thing to be discussed. It's kind of late in the, the horse is already taken off. Secretariat's in the lead. The problem is the rest of us in the government got blinders on. I'm speaking from the community. The thing that we've all missed in the discussion on this table to my left is they never once mentioned the community. They talk about endangered species, laddie stones, and everything under the sun, but the people. And that's what hurts me the most, is because the passion we all have in this room for our lands, from the Castro family all the way down to the Otero family and the lands in between, was condemned by the federal government, and it wasn't returned to these people. And that's very, very wrong. That is my preface on this whole discussion. I respect and admire the people to my left, and I'm probably going to get GOMET tomorrow with some federal regulation that they're going to cite against me. But at the end of the day, this legislature and this government has to address the needs of the people. I represent about 100 fishermen with boats. We are going to lose 40% of our ocean, our fishable waters. But I'm going to say as a preface to this whole thing, I was told by my board to support the build-up, and I do. But on our terms, on the people of Guam's terms. The one thing this legislature and this government has missed, not Calvo administration, but even the administration before, when the utterance of the build-up was put on the table, I would have told the federal government two things. One, you bring back civil service jobs so our people of Guam can have high-paying jobs, not your contractors from Virginia. One, that would have been the first one. Second, get rid of the day schools. Separate but equal is not part of our society here. But I was told by a high-level government official, Manny, you're dreaming. I am not dreaming when you work with the federal government. I'm going to tell you 3 facts when working with fisheries for the last 22 years. Chamorro people are supposed to be charged $38 a year for a saltwater fishing license. They do that in the states, every state in the union. Guess what? Manny Duenas fought hard against it, and we don't have to pay because I convinced them that we are people of the water. How are you going to tax us for that every year? Second, we're supposed to have a monument like the CNMI. They lost one-fifth of their water. They lost 1/5 of, that's my voice, not the microphone. They lost 1/5 of the water. 5/8 of Hawaii is a monument, all protected. American Samoa lost 1/8 of their waters. Guess who did not get their waters taken away? We had 279 people challenge the Undersecretary of the Navy, of the Commerce. So when these people on my left speak about they can't challenge the federal government, I'm a lowly little guy that went to Washington and said, you got to listen to us, brown people. But at the end of the day, we can all work together. But like I said, this is already gone. The alternative, there is a firing range that many of you don't know at Patty Point. If you go down Taragi and you make a right by Pascal Beach, there is a firing range there. It's been there for years. I used it in the reserve. The military never looked at that. They never added that as an alternative. So the ludicrous idea that they looked at all the alternatives is really ludicrous. They just want to do what they want to do. They have 3 firing ranges on Guam. One at Orodi, one at Aputu, and one at Retiran, or now Retiran be number 4. But the other 2 ranges, the military chased our fishermen out of those waters. We were promised, you were at that meeting, Madam Vice Speaker, when the military said, we're not holding any training on the weekend of your derby. No, they chased one of our boats with their gunboats, 6 miles off of Rodi. The military lies. There's a law called the Sykes Act. The Sykes Act allows the people of Guam equal access to the military resources, the deer, the wild pigs. Military says, no, unless you have a military ID, you cannot hunt at Anderson. And this fish and wildlife, seriously, they have a depredation permit. If you look at their fence that they put around their property, they killed a lot of trees. But you look at their fence, no deer, no pig, no snake. The only thing missing on the right-hand corner, no tau-tau, no people. And because I argue with them, I said, why do you guys have hours of operation? Why do you open at 9 o'clock and close at 4? The most beautiful time of the day is sunrise and sunset. Because they want to keep people out. It's a job, not an adventure for them. But I can go on all day. Back to the story at hand on the firing range. Nobody's cared about the fishermen, as you heard from agriculture. We're worried about the plants. We're worried about this. We're worried about that. They're going to take 15 square miles of our ocean at Retidian Point, one of the most pristine waters. And they're going to fire 40 pounds of lead or whatever material, the tip of the bullet, the 50 caliber machine gun's going to go into the water per minute. 40 pounds. Really? That's water quality? I don't know where they're getting that from. Who's going to go out 3 miles and check? Because the range of a bullet is close to 5 miles on a 50 caliber. I researched it all. I was former Army. That's how Mr. Crisostomo knows me. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to figure out how you're going to measure water quality. You're going to keep fishermen out of the way, access to 45-degree bank, to Paddy Point, to Rhoda Banks. You're going to put us in harm's way. But I promised the military at the FD meeting, because I'm going to look around this room. I think I'm the oldest one here with history with this build-up. I've attended nearly every meeting since it started. But I promised them, we're going to have 50 to 100 boats parked at Retidian when these guys start shooting their weapons. Until they start mitigating. They mitigated everybody. They have turtle contract with the Department of Agriculture. Fish and Wildlife has a contract. Everybody gets a contract from the federal government. But nobody's compensating the fishermen or the landowners. Why don't we build a road from the other end of Haruna all the way down so everybody got their land back? And we don't have to deal with it. But no, they want us all to suffer. I am sorry you said only half an hour, but you know me, I cannot stop talking. My brain can't stop functioning.
Like 5 minutes.
Oh, 5 minutes, sorry, okay. Okay, I'm trying to get there, So I talked about the 40 pounds of lead. No, people don't realize that from the machine gun. That's just the machine gun. But I don't understand that they can wake up in the morning at Reveille at 5 o'clock in the morning, kiss their wife goodbye, have breakfast with their wife, actually, or girlfriend, get on a boat, amphibious ship, travel 60 miles an hour from Guam to Tinian, where there's a firing range. It's weird, because Guam's firing range is on the top left-hand corner of our pristine ocean, but in Retidian, it's right dead center on the island. Why the difference? Okay, anyways, talk about the amphibious boat, because you got to mobilize these Marines. You know, jungle warfare, Vietnam is no more. We're fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's all rocks. There's no jungle. So I don't understand why they need to train here, because they've been kicked out of everywhere else. You go look at the history of training, and the word that scares me the most is testing. People don't realize that. What are you testing? I'm not smart. But when I take a test, either you pass or fail. But if I don't know what's inside the test, guaranteed I'm going to fail. So what are you testing? What munitions are you testing? Spent uranium? That's what they use for 50 caliber machine guns. What does that mean? At the end of the day, I have this defend my country. The military said it in their EIS. We are going to have a THAAD missile defense team on Guam. And the sentence read, to protect U.S. interests on Guam. It doesn't say to protect Guam. It said to protect U.S. interests. So if it's aimed at Anderson, yes, we'll set it off. But if it's aimed at Hagatne, kiss your dog and goodbye. That's what, when we talk about negotiation and all this stuff, our government did not come up and fight. You know who did a better job? CUC, or what do you call it, Peter? What's the one that runs water and power? CCU. They did a better job because they got millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. But talking about these people, they want their land back. You know, the sad, no offense on Linda, but after you guys designate all these properties as historical, what's the use of them getting it back? You know, it's like my thinking that, I wanted to put a marina in Talafofo Bay. You know, I wanted the military to pay for it. But why we would, after this incident in the Ganya Bow Basin, why? Because now the Ogden family cannot fish anymore. You know, we don't think about what we do, but our worst enemy is ourselves because we don't help our people. You want me to fight for our people? You call me, I'll be there. But these guys need their properties back. Like I said, and remember Fish and Wildlife, they wanted 20,000 acres. They started with 2, and I think it was a lawsuit that settled it, and they went back to 2,000, but they originally wanted 20,000, if I recall. My memory's not that good. Neither is my visions. I'm trying to read my stupid notes. But at the end of the day, Madam Senator, nobody's fighting for this community, and I appreciate the fact that you guys are here. You know, sometimes you guys are our worst enemies too because you don't understand the cumulative effect it has on the community. You know, all these little things that add on, you know. Sometimes Speaker Cruz thinks I'm his worst enemy. But the problem is I have to take everything in balance, you know. And we need to address the needs of our people. Not only Laddistones, not only down the line as far as corals and reefs, because at the end of the day, they're going to drive their equipment over it. And you're not going to be standing there. They did it in Hawaii. Like I said, they've been kicked out everywhere. And for me to think that we can't negotiate with them, that was a ludicrous thing to say. I love Robert, but not that much. Yeah. Any other comment? I think I said too much. Thank you.
Thank you.